Hi, HR management. We are on week 7 of 8, getting really close to wrapping up the class. This week, we'll focus on two chapters: employee rights and discipline, as well as the dynamics of labor relations. You will have a reflection, a short presentation, and a discussion this week. And I'll try and open up the final week a little bit early so that you can finish the class early if you'd like. So, in employer rights and discipline, you're going to learn a lot about the fair treatment that really workers just expect that their employer gives to them. You'll also learn about something called a psychological contract, which you may have heard in other classes, such as organizational behavior, sort of this mutual understanding between an employee and an employer as to what their benefits and obligations are to each other. You'll learn about employment at will. So, I currently am an employee at will. My employer could terminate my contract at any time. There are a lot of organizations that are moving in this direction. You'll learn about whistleblowing when an employee sort of reports an act of wrongdoing with an organization. You'll learn a bit more about employee rights to privacy versus employer wanting to know, and that will dabble in things like drug testing. And then finally, you'll learn a bit about discipline. And what I think is really interesting are the different approaches to discipline. So, in my management style, I really prefer positive discipline, which really gives the employee an opportunity to determine how they will fix a certain behavior moving forward. So, it's not really a shock to them about how their performance is. Really, I think managers should be discussing performance with their employees all the time and not just at an annual performance evaluation. And I try and create sort of an area of trust with my employees, even if they're not performing well, so that we can mutually figure out what tools they're missing to get there. And then finally, this chapter wraps by talking about termination and due process. Not fun stuff, but stuff that you definitely need to be educated on. And then the next chapter goes into the dynamics of labor relations. So this chapter is very heavily focused on unions, which hopefully you know what a union is. And if you don't, you're going to learn a lot about it. This chapter talks a lot about millennials' kind of desire to support unions, just really as an alternative labor structure and for many different reasons. If you're not familiar with working with a union, you'll learn about the tough dynamic between unions and management. Typically, most employers prefer to not have to deal with a union, but in some cases, you can't avoid it. You'll learn about the different contract negotiations with the unions, which are generally speaking focused on wages and benefits. And then you'll also learn basically what an organization can do from an HR management standpoint of how to avoid getting to the point of a union if they don't currently have one. And I think there's 5 things listed in the chapter that employers can do, such as look at pay and promotion, do cultural audits, job rotation and training programs, share important information with employees and be transparent, and really just ensure that there are desirable working conditions on a regular basis. So finally, you'll learn about the different items that all comprise a labor agreement, and there are quite a few things included. So hopefully, you take something away. And by the end of this chapter, I hope that you at least have some sort of opinion on a union if you've not been exposed to one before. So I hope everyone has a great week. And again, week 7 of 8. So you should see 8 posted a little bit sooner than usual. And I'm here for anything that you need in terms of help. And I hope you have a great week. Bye bye.